Google Play Store or Apple Store to download the 1017 The Truth app today so you can take the home of Milwaukee Black Talk with you wherever you are.
Can't listen live? Download the new 1017 The Truth app on your smartphone today to catch up on all your favorite shows. Search 1017 The Truth on your Google Play Store or Apple App Store so you don't miss out on any of the action.
Day one, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day one is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day one.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm Kyle Wallace, your host of Truth to Power, and we're coming at you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. You can always watch and stream us live by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe as well, as we are on our road to 5,000 subscribers. And as we are very close to 4,000 subscribers. So make sure y'all give us a like and also subscribe as well. If you want to chime in on the conversation today, you can always call in or text in at 833-212-1017. That is 833-212-1017. 1017. Shout out to Rhea Riley holding it down on the ones and the twos today.
What up? What up?
And shout out to you, Truth Nation. Now, before I get into what will be a jam-packed show based off the wild weekend we had here, an unfortunate weekend that we had, a quintuple shooting. My goodness, quintuple. How often do you say that? But based off the weekend we had here in Milwaukee, I do want to say, boy, these I don't know about y'all yesterday, but yesterday I was moving around. Shout out to the fam that was in town. Shout out to the fam for the baby shower. Shout out to my little cuz. And as I'm moving around yesterday, what I felt was my throat was feeling odd. And it felt weird inside of my throat. And then I saw that we had wildfire. I had to be in Middleton yesterday as well. And I saw that we had wildfires in Canada where smoke was coming in. Did anybody else feel like it was, I could breathe fine, but it felt weird. And I realized my lungs ain't what they used to be. What's up, Rhea? You said no? And what I'm realizing, I don't smoke the marijuana or cigarettes or cigars as well. I don't do none of that. I don't think my lungs can handle that because I couldn't handle this forest fire, wildfire smoke coming from Canada over the weekend. My throat was still a little sore this morning, but man, that stuff, you could just smell it in the air yesterday. Canada got to get together. I'm telling y'all, we didn't have all this stuff. I know we have forest fires, but we didn't have all this smoke like this consistently growing up. I'm trying to tell y'all right now, climate change is real. Y'all can run away from it if you want to. But today, we're not going to do weekend recap again because there's more pressing issues, and I'll get to the weekend recap tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff we can recap. But today, I want to go off the top because right now, violence in our city is out of control, and I feel like our city is a broken record. But I'm going to hit y'all with off the top today with the news everybody's talking about.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
All right, now off the top here I got for y'all, the city is a broken record where I decided to take on this role of being a host. I was excited about the opportunity. I was very excited to have this platform to give my perspective on the most pressing issues of the day, the news of the day. That's what I was excited to talk about. Be able to talk about it from my perspective, the young millennial perspective, the perspective that I have, the perspective that Rhea, who is like the baby, you like the end of the millennials, aren't you, Rhea?
Yep, 95.
She is like she's at almost the end of the millennials. And then even some Gen Zers, some fake Gen Zers like Carrie who act like she's not her age. But I was excited for the opportunity to be able to talk about the things happening in my city, right? And I understood the news of the day. The news of the day would, be something that, I watch, and I'll have to cover the highs, I'll have to cover the lows, and I'll have to cover the controversial. One thing I underestimated was the fact that how repetitive you are when you get on the radio. And it's not because of yourself, it's because of the constant news that we have in the community where it makes me feel like a broken record because Milwaukee is a broken record because I feel like every weekend or maybe every other weekend in the city of Milwaukee, Truth Nation, we have the same type of crime and same type of senseless violence. I heard someone ask, don't y'all get tired of this? And I get it. It's exhausting talking about this violence, right? And I pick and choose when I talk about the violence. Last week when I talked about Summerfest is because we have to find solutions. And today when I talk about the weird crime and things that happen in our community is because it's what we have to talk about because we need to figure this out. First, I want to start with the 7-year-old Jamal White, who was kidnapped at gunpoint on Friday on the northwest side of Milwaukee while riding his bike up and down the street. Now, as somebody without kids, but somebody who was a child, I once rode my bike up and down the block. I once rode my bike a little further out the neighborhood. I grew up off of 66 and Capitol, 66 and Hope, kitty corner to Marshall High School. And I remember we couldn't go all the way to Capitol, and we could go to the end of Marshall High School, but we couldn't go too far to the other neighborhood. But of course, we ventured out just a little bit. We pushed our boundaries. But that's what kids do. We push the boundary just a smidge, but kids ride their bikes. Kids go around their neighborhood. Kids play outside. We say these kids need to be outside more. That's what this young boy was doing. This young boy was playing outside, riding his bike, doing what we millennials did, doing what you Gen Xers did, doing what you baby boomers did, just being a kid and living their life. Now, kidnapping has happened forever, but a kid being abducted and kidnapped at gunpoint is something I ain't really heard of. At gunpoint, and if you listen to the video, you heard the video of the young boy screaming out for help, and it was hard for a lot of people to listen to. Now, a 25-year-old man is in custody for this, and this 7-year-old was thankfully found on Saturday afternoon around the 2000 block of North 39th Street, which is a good distance away from the northwest side where he was at. 2 other people have also been arrested at a home tied to the young man's abduction. One of the 2 people was arrested on the northwest side as well, where White was taken and being held on tentative charges of resisting and obstructing arrest. The other one is being held on second-degree reckless endangering safety. Both are 27 years old. Now, this story to me is weird, and I'm glad the young boy was found safe. And I want to say this. Thank you so much to the city for stepping up and speaking out. You could not go on your social media on Friday evening. You could not go on your social media Friday morning, Friday early afternoon, and not see a picture of this young boy or even see the video being told about the white Jeep renegade that abducted this child. And so I want to say thank you to the community for being so vigilant, and thank you to the community to coming together for a common cause, because what we saw there was the power of community. What we saw there was the power of backing one another. What we saw is when you come together as one, you can make it impossible for criminals to move safely. Criminals to move without having to look around their shoulder. So again, what we saw on Friday and Saturday was a village coming together for the common good and a common cause. And it was protecting one another, helping raise one another. That's what community has always been about, and the community came together and stood together for that on Saturday. And I undoubtedly believe that is the reason why that young boy is back with his family. So thank you, Milwaukee, but let this be a lesson of how important the village is, because I feel like we strayed away from what the village is and what the impact of the village can be. I really do. I feel like overall as a community, we have been so individual minded and focused on how I'm going to get ahead versus how we can get ahead. And so I say that because I feel like what we saw on Friday and Saturday that helped bring that young boy home is something that we can continue to replicate to deter some of this nonsense going on in the community. And we're going to talk about the fact that we need to start snitching. The stop snitching stuff needs to end. Maybe that might work in New York. It might work in Atlanta. It don't work here in Milwaukee. We need to start snitching. We need to start telling. We need to start telling people that this, what you doing is wrong. We need people to start feeling chastised and ostracized whenever they do something that's stupid. Now, I don't know all the details behind what happened with this situation, but what I do is a child should never be taken. And what I do know is a child should never see a gun pointed in his face or threatened with a gun. That we can all agree upon. Now, when we come back on the other side, we have to touch on the tragic event which occurred outside the nightclub Element. And before we get to that, I just want to preface my conversation and my thoughts with letting y'all know that I do not want to sound anti-black. This is not an anti-black show, nor will this be an anti-black conversation, because that's not what it is. But what this will be is an anti-crime conversation. It will be an anti-crime conversation that will address the things which impact the black community here in Milwaukee. Because if I had a radio show in rural Wisconsin, y'all know what, nowhere, Wisconsin, I would talk about the most pressing things that matter to them. I would talk about the poor school systems. I would talk about the rampant drug use and alcohol use. I would talk about the declining population, domestic violence, and poor health opportunities, outcomes that they have in those communities. I was having a radio show 4 hours from here in the middle of nowhere. But my radio show that I have here, our conversations, this station is Milwaukee Black Talk. So I will talk about issues that are negatively impacting black Milwaukee. And when we come back, we have to talk again about the incident that happened for a Milwaukee legend and OG Tweezy, who was murdered outside of a nightclub in downtown Milwaukee on Water Street that many of us have been to from the age of 14, 15, back when it was, Amistad to Ladybug and all that. We have been to that area, 618. And so we are going to have a conversation about what our community needs to do to end the senseless violence that continues to plague our community. I want to hear y'all thoughts. I want to hear y'all solutions. I want to hear why y'all think we have this problem. Because today we got to talk about it and we got to get it out. Because the community is hurting from a 7-year-old being abducted to what some call the mayor of Milwaukee being murdered. We got to have a community conversation about how this negatively impacts us and what got us to this point, Truth Nation. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to text line. You could always call in and text in for this conversation. You can also watch and stream us live. But on the other side, we are going to have a community conversation talking about the tragic events that occurred in our city, where OG Tweezy, who was just on the Tory Lowe Show last week, just in the studio, literally steps away from where I was, in a seat that so many guests that been jamming in, and you'll see Dame LZ sitting. This gentleman, this legend, was just in the studio breathing the same air that I'm breathing, and he is no longer on earth with us. At least his spirit and soul is not. We got to have a conversation, Milwaukee, because we got to be better. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. I look forward to your calls. I look forward to your texts. And I look forward to reading your messages on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. This is Truth to Power. We'll talk more next.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hello, my name is Cindy, and I'm a rising sophomore and a proud Tiger at Riverside University High School. What I love about Riverside is the coursework that really helps her get ready for college. At Riverside, students can take advanced placement and dual enrollment classes and earn college credits while they are still in high school. I love that Riverside has so many clubs like forensics, student council, robotics, and the chess club. With so many options, there is something for everyone. On Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., please join us at Riverside for the Truth Family Fest. We will have entertainment, food trucks, and vendors.
Truth Nation, you already know I got to put you on the latest hookup at Nick Avani's, and this one is big. All month long during July, Nick Avani's is running their buy one, get one for a penny sale. That's right, grab one item and get another one for just 1 cent. We're talking top tier fashion like suits, shirts, ties, shoes, and more that will have you stepping out looking sharp and turning heads. Some exclusions may apply, but the deal is real and only happening for the month of July. So don't wait and pull up to Nick Avani's on the 2nd floor of Mayfair Mall and level up your wardrobe while this deal lasts.
Healthy beginnings create brighter futures. At Outreach Healthy Start, Healthy Hearts, families and experts unite to explore how early decisions from pregnancy to childhood shape lifelong health and well-being. Join Outreach on Thursday, July 31st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to learn how prenatal care, well-child visits, and healthy habits lay the foundation for strong hearts and strong futures. This event is free and open to Milwaukee families. Call 414-727-6320 to register today. That's 414-727-6320. Outreach Healthcare with Heart.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, July 24th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Sherman Park in the Mary Ryan Boys and Girls Club Baseball Diamond, located at 3000 North Sherman Boulevard, and at the Washington Park Band Shell, located at 4599 West Lloyd Street. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food and refreshments while supplies last, and the chance to make your next career move. Your success matters, and we are here for it. Brought to you by council members DeAndre Jackson and Russell Stamper II. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
I don't give a if you love me. I don't give a if you like me. Asking me how did it feel. Can't say it didn't surprise me. Last time I looked to my right, was standing beside me. How can some people I love hang around?
Life is better with American Family Insurance because their home policies help protect your dreams and can come with a peace of mind. You can save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. Listen, y'all, get a quote today by going to amfam.com. Not only can you get a quote at amfam.com, if you like going to talk to somebody in person like I do, you can also go to amfam.com and find a local insurance agent near you. American Family Insurance, they got you. So again, if you're looking to get home insurance, auto insurance, if you're looking to bundle potentially life insurance and save up to 25%, get a quote today at amfam.com. That is amfam.com. Dream fearlessly, insure carefully. American Family Insurance. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace. And again, we're coming at you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. And today we just have a conversation about the pressing news of the day. And we all know this was a rough weekend for the city of Milwaukee. A rough weekend for the city of Milwaukee because of the violence that we saw. But also a rough weekend because we also saw a 7-year-old get kidnapped. Now, listening back to the interview that Tweezy had was hard because it was actually, it's sad. We had the Walk Against Violence, and him and Tory, he joined Tory, and he talked about potentially joining us for the Walk Against Violence this past weekend. But listening back, the show actually that he was on, we have our best ofs for the weekend. And producers choose the shows that they believe is the best show from their show that week. And DJ Brother Z being the producer for the Tory Lowe Show, that is the show that he chose sometime during that week, Friday morning, that he wanted to be the best of to play over and over because he understood how strong the show was because Sparkle, whose son was killed in the city of Milwaukee and still trying to find his killer, was on that show. But then OG Tweezy was also on that show as well, and he felt like it was such an impactful show that he wanted it to re-air this weekend. Little did we know, because you can't predict this, that would be the last interview that Tweezy would give and the only interview he would give on 1017 The Truth. And so as I was driving around listening to the Tory Lowe Show, I heard the interview, and it was hard to listen to. It was hard to listen to because it's very rare in life where you're listening to somebody talk about their future so recently, within just a couple days ago, talking about what they had planned for the weekend, right? The event that was supposed to take place Friday and Saturday, what's coming up in August, all the impact that wanted to be made. And then you know that some of this, hopefully it still happens, but he won't be here to be part of that. And I believe in destiny. When I say that, I believe it was meant for him to join the Tory Lowe Show that day. Because they've been trying to work it out, and he and Tory crossed paths, and Tory said, let's make it happen. And it happened. And I think it was meant to happen for a reason because there was a message that had to get out there. Now, in this moment, it's a reminder that we live in a time where criminals have no limits, no boundaries, right? They're willing to go after anybody, kill anybody. It doesn't matter. Somebody here, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Again, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube. Mata Elephant said, what happened to women and children being off limits? And what happened to OGs and elderly folks being off limits? I mean, people have become extremely reckless in this moment that we living in. Nothing is off limits. We had people shooting up clubs and not even caring about who the target is. 3 storefronts got shot up on Friday. 3 storefronts. Listen, that is reckless. If you gonna shoot and kill somebody, which you should never do, and if you do that, you should face the consequences. But to drive down the street and multiple businesses get bullet holes, multiple people standing outside are ducking for cover because of your senseless action. You made all these people feel in fear because of some issues that you had. That's not right. We are risking lives of black people. 3 storefronts are shot up, 5 people shot, 2 people killed. And nobody, and I shouldn't say nobody, but the person that did it doesn't care whatsoever. We are risking the lives of black men and black women. It's evil and it's dangerous and it's reckless. And I have come to the conclusion, y'all, that I'm not going to bars where the crowd is predominantly young and the crowd is predominantly young and black. Now, again, this ain't no anti-black show. This is an anti-crime show. But I'm only sticking with the facts because I have come to that conclusion with the fact that give me the 35 and up black crowd. I don't want none of these young 30 and under young black folks. I don't want nothing to do with them. Really, that 25 and under. I don't want nothing. Give me the 35 and up black crowd. I don't know who the perpetrators were in this situation. It could be somebody 35 and up. But what I do know is the victims that seem to get shot up on this block at these bars and restaurants, because this ain't the first time somebody done been shot up in front of that block. This ain't the first time somebody done lost their life. It seems like every year or every other year, somebody's getting shot and killed on that block. And typically the perpetrator is under 25, and the victim is a black person, a black woman, a black man. And so for me, it's not the bar's fault. But for me, we got to figure out how we can rid ourselves of this nonsense that's happening inside the community. And a lot of times the perpetrators end up being black, but unfortunately the victims are black. Now, I recall I was here with Homer Blow. We had a show talking about a club called Allure. And Allure was fighting with the Common Council to have their age restriction of 25 and up for the bar for their patrons to be removed. They didn't think it was fair. They're only bar on the block that had an age restriction of 25 and up. He felt it was hurting his bottom line. He felt it was hurting his business. I agreed that it was not fair. But also, we have to understand, even though it's not fair, it was in the best interest of public safety. And this is another example of why it was in the best interest of public safety. Now, I got a quick story that I want to share about Element and something that's personal to my life, right? And not knowing your own destiny. 2 weeks ago, we celebrated Tory Lowe Day, July 5th, Tory Lowe birthday, but also in the city of Milwaukee is Tory Lowe Day. In the county of Milwaukee is Tory Lowe Day. In the state of Wisconsin, it is also Tory Lowe Day on July 5th, 2025. Tory Lowe had his birthday party, and I wanted to attend. He told me, hey, Kyle, can you pull up to Element to my birthday party? And I said, all right, Tory, I'm going to pull up. But remember, that was the same day it was Summerfest. And I said, I want to go see T Grizzly. So I said, I'm going to pull up, but I'm going to pull up after T Grizzly. Now, we went to go see T Grizzly. It started to rain as well. Ended up seeing another little concert. And then we dipped out, but we parked down that Summerfest. Your boy got a parking pass, so I parked that Summerfest. So I parked that Summerfest. And if you know anything about trying to leave Summerfest around 11:15, after 11 o'clock at night, the parking lot, you're going to be sitting in traffic for 40 minutes. Hell, you're going to be sitting in the parking lot trying to get out for at least 25 minutes. And so by that time, we had walked out the Summerfest after 11. We really didn't get to downtown Milwaukee to 12. And by that time, my lady was with me. She done been in the rain, wet. She done walked around Summerfest. We done been in traffic for an hour. It was getting late. And she had no interest in going out. But me being the stubborn man that I am, I told her, let's just give it a try. We're not going to stay out for very long. We're going to head home after. But I want to show love to my boy, Tory Lowe. And so we end up going out, which we rarely do. We rarely go out. And we finally get down there to Element, and there's not much of a line. And I go in there, and I tell them I'm here for Tory Lowe, and they say, oh, okay. But then what happened is when I was there, my girl was like, I'm not really feeling this vibe. She said, I'm not really feeling this energy around here. She said, just something weird. And we done gone out before. We done been to, I think it's Cream City Social that's on that block or something like that. And we done been to multiple bars. Carrie had her birthday party back in October. We done been out there before. We done been to Element before. But she said, there's something about this aura that I feel that I ain't rocking with. I ignored her. I said, okay, baby, whatever. You tired, but I got to show Tory some love. So I get there. Her ID scan. She good to go. They scan my ID, and just by chance, my ID is expired, and they told me I can't come in with an expired ID unless I ain't going to say what they told me, but at that time, I said, well, I'm going to just tell Tory I'll see him next time. I tried, but they said I couldn't come in with an expired ID. And so then we fast forward to this weekend. I go home, but we fast forward to this weekend, and I think about the same block that I walked up and walked back on. I think about the place that I stood outside, And I think about the danger that I could have potentially put my lovely woman in had it just been the following week. You start having the what ifs that go through your mind, the guilt that goes through my mind. And I could not fathom, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I told the woman that I love that I got you and we go into this place, we're going to be good, we're going to show some love, and then gunshots started ringing out. Not that we got shot or anything like that, but the fact that we would be put in some danger like that. I would never be able to live that down, that I put somebody I love and I care about in the line of danger. But in my mind, when I went to Element, I'm not thinking something bad is going to happen. But unfortunately, here in the city of Milwaukee, when you go to certain places, and again, it ain't these places' fault, something bad could happen. And so, again, we find ourselves again another week asking the question of why. And I was listening to Jamming with Juice earlier today, and I heard a lot of Truth Nation throwing out there the why. And that's what I want to know from y'all. I want to know the why. Why does this violence keep happening in our community? Because the majority of the people that live in this city, we hard-working individuals that contribute to society. But the small minority are the disruptors that cause so many issues, and it cause so much mess that we just want them to stop. And I'm just trying to figure out, how do we stop this from happening? Because we continue to search for answers. We continue to search for why. We continuously to search for possible solutions. But I just don't know why. And listening to Jamming with Juice that you can hear every weekday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Been jamming. I always show y'all love. I always do. You can ask Rhea. Anytime I bring up any of y'all names, I tell people to go ahead and listen because we a family. And some of the things that I heard, it resonated with me. Teammate, as Ben just said, you my teammate. We not a family. That's right. Good businesses don't have families, I guess. I don't know. But one of the things that I heard, it was music. And I've always resisted blaming rap music for all the issues in our community because I always felt like that was the easy, low-hanging fruit for people to go to. Again, 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talking text line that you can chime in, you can text in, or you can call in. Also, watching streamers live on YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a subscribe and give us a like. I see y'all on YouTube. I'm going to get to y'all. But I always thought that blaming hip-hop and rap music and the lyrics was just the low-hanging fruit and easy, right? We demonizing the art that we so much love and blaming it for the issue. See, for me, I always was a firm believer in the fact that if you have a child, it is your duty to raise that child the right way. If you have a child, it is your duty to make sure that you potentially raise them to be the best young person and young adult that they can be. So I said blaming rap music and blaming hip-hop was the easy way out, but that ain't the real problem. Though I still believe that blaming hip-hop isn't the only problem, it has become clear to me how much of a nuisance that hip-hop has become, but more so than just targeting hip-hop, I think we need to understand, because the reason why I'll push back against this hip-hop's bad, rap's bad, is because I felt like it was a reflection of black people. So when I did a deeper dive and I started living in a reality, instead of being so defensive of thinking I have to defend anything and everything that's black, I came to the conclusion that music can have negative stereotypes that come to fruition and come to life and impact communities negatively. Hear me out when I say this. Rap music, yes, I do think it has a negative impact on our community, but it's not just rap music. And we have to understand why music itself is so powerful. Music is so beautiful. We find ourselves sometimes in a trance, many times listening to music. It takes us to a different place. It just amazes me how sound can play such a major impact on people's lives. A song is made for every human emotion that we have. It's incredible to me of what the sound of music can do. Is absolutely beautiful. But within that beauty, there are also many negative stereotypes which are reinforced in all genres of music. Country music reinforces stereotypes of drinking, drug abuse, and objectifying women. But we don't hear about that because we don't listen to country. But country has some negative stereotypes that impacts those communities negatively. Emo rock and roll promotes self-harm, sadness, and being down on oneself. There's negative impact that comes to children's lives who listen to emo. Some would say, I would say women pop music and R&B and sometimes women country at points, Rhea, you have to agree with this. They glorify taking a sledgehammer to a car and busting out windows to promote violence.
See, that wouldn't been happening if some man wasn't cheating on nobody.
See, but it don't matter. It promotes violence. See, exactly. Rhea said, yeah, I'll bust his windows out too.
But nobody got hurt, though.
That's very true. I mean, the money hurt. And so I use those examples, so I think it's okay for us as a community to say, rap music is a problem. Rap music can be divisive, it can objectify women, and it glorifies violence. It glorifies criminality. It uplifts those who did time. People have teardrops on their eyes, and they get more respect than the degrees or the they call them tallies that people have around the stoves and that people have when they graduate, representing the different clubs, organizations that they were part of, the different experiences that they had. There are more people that get a slap on the hand for teardrops than people get for having those cords around their neck. And so for me, I think it's time for us to understand that some hip-hop is poisonous and dangerous for our youth and our communities. And obviously, we as humans cannot differentiate what is reality and what is for entertainment. And to make matters worse, we have seen American rap artists killed in hip-hop beefs. And this ain't a new thing that happened. A lot of y'all want to blame the youth, but you can't blame the youth because some of y'all 70s babies and 80s babies, or I should really just say some of y'all 70s babies, was seeing y'all favorite hip-hop artists get killed in the 80s, for sure in the 90s, for sure in the 90s. Something has to change and something has to shake. And we got to figure out what the real problem is, Truth Nation. Is it the music? Is it the terrible lyrics? Is it the parents that are failing these kids? Is it society failing our community for generations? 833-212-1017. What is the problem and how did we get here? I want to hear from you. How did we get to this point where weekend after weekend we have this senseless violence? Is it really the hip-hop music to blame? Some artists, I believe Jay-Z said, hip-hop saved my life. Benjamin, you still there? There you go. Hip-hop saved my life, but at the same time, hip-hop has killed many people. 833-212-1017. I want to hear from you. Is hip-hop to blame for the violence we are seeing in our community year after year? Again, 833-212-1017. You can always watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. I want to know what is to blame, and I want to know what are some solutions, because I did hear some great solutions to how we can potentially curb some of this violence we are seeing in our communities. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. I'm going to hear from y'all coming up next right here on 1017 The Truth.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
What's poppin', Truth Nation? It's your girl Noni Juice from my friends at Steinhafels. And right now, it's Black Friday in July at Steinhafels, where the deals are hotter than ever. Save 10% store-wide, plus get amazing specials like a beauty sleep mattress for just $3.99, and discover brand new arrivals, including solid wood panel beds and made-in-America dining tables. And don't forget, Steinhafels makes shopping easier with 18-month, 0% interest financing. Steinhafels, Wisconsin's #1 furniture and mattress destination. Shop in-store or at steinhafels.com.
Hey everybody, it's Sherwin Hughes, and I got to tell you about one of my absolute favorite places in the city, Mr. B's Privileged Lounge, located on the northwest side of Milwaukee at 8617 West Brown Deer Road. Mr. B's is your go-to destination for comfort food, an incredible drink menu, and live music that keeps the vibes going all night long. So whether you're winding down or if you want to turn up, Mr. B's has the flavor, the energy, and the atmosphere you've been looking for. Mr. B's Privileged Lounge, privileged to serve.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
And what are some of the ways that you're inspiring people? Because, you know, one of the biggest opportunities, in particular in the African American community, is access, exposure, and awareness.
For Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin, we've been here 76 years.
Wow.
And our mantra is saving the lives you love. So if someone you love needs a blood transfusion and they're in any hospital in Southeast Wisconsin here, that blood's coming from us. And so we're trying to make sure that we're communicating that, because I think folks maybe don't understand that blood can't be manufactured. And summers are always tough because schools are out and we collect about 20 to 25% of our blood from schools. So it's always a day-to-day struggle. We say that the blood that's on the shelves is the blood that saves lives. And a lot of times people are compelled to donate when something bad happens. And our mission and our job is to educate folks so that we can get ahead of the curve and keep 3 days of inventory on the shelves. So we're in a decent spot right now, but we're on the streets every day trying to inspire people to join our mission. One of our big projects that we're proud of is Versity on King, which is part of the Thrive on collaboration in the Gimbel Schuster building on Martin Luther King Drive. And next year, we're going to open a destination center there. It'll be a blood donation center, but it'll be more than that, because we've realized that we can't be transactional with our relationships in the Black community. We need to do things that are intentional and that show that we're there to stay. But the reason that we're there is because not enough people that look like us donate. And so for disorders like sickle cell disease that disproportionately affect us, the race can matter. But I like to say that, Black folks have a superpower in their blood. 44% of Black blood donors will have this rare trait that makes their blood more likely to be able to be a match for a sickle cell patient. And that 44%, that is way higher than what we would find in other races.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. For the 7th game in a row, the Milwaukee Brewers found themselves on the winning side, beating the Washington Nationals, this one by a final score of 8-1.
Line drive! Deep right center! Out of here! A 3-run blast for Jackson Chourio, number 16.
The win gives the Brewers an overall record of 56-40, setting a new franchise record for most wins prior to the All-Star break. And speaking of All-Star break, the Home Run Derby is scheduled for this evening at 7 p.m. And lastly, we'll head over to the NBA, where the Milwaukee Bucks fell in Summer League action to the L.A. Clippers, 106-91. Chris Livingston leading the Bucks in scoring with 21. With the loss, the Bucks dropped to a 1-2 overall record in Summer League action. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
This Lizzo call me Lizzie. I've been fat and I've been skinny. Still ain't with me. This Lizzo call me Lizzie. I've been fat and I've been skinny. Still ain't with me.
If your loved one has ever been injured in an accident, y'all know who to call. Call Gruber Law Offices and they will take care of you. See, they help people and they help families who are seriously injured in accidents. They stand up for victims, right? And they take the burden off your shoulders. Matter of fact, I was driving into work and I saw one of the good attorneys from Gruber Law Office this morning while I was driving. I said, oh, there he is, off to work and off to help people and help victims. Because that is what Gruber Law Offices does. What I love about them, they focus on the legal aspect while you, their client, can focus on healing. So I'm telling y'all this right now. If you ever get into a car accident, whether somebody sideswipes you, somebody hits you from the back, somebody hits your front of your vehicle, make one call, that's all, to Gruber Law Offices, and they will take care of you. And always remember, when you work with Gruber Law Offices, you don't have to come out the pocket at all until they win your case. Yes, you never pay a single penny until they win your case. Get with the winning law firm today with Gruber Law Offices, where they have results that speak for themselves by visiting them at gruber-law.com. That is gruber-law.com, or making one call, that's all, to 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666 is one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace. And again, we're coming at you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at The Avenue, 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and text line, where you can call in or you can text in with your thoughts and your comments on the violent weekend we had here in Milwaukee that touched many of us, where a 7-year-old was abducted at gunpoint. Luckily, he was found on Saturday. And where a Milwaukee legend, promoter, artist, and somebody that many care dearly about, OG Tweezy, was murdered outside of Element nightclub when he was simply outside. I believe he was just trying to hand out wristbands, and he ended up getting shot from behind, I was told. And 5 people got shot at the same time. Three storefronts were shot up as well. But again, 833-212-1017. You can call in or you can text in. But you can also watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. And on YouTube, some of y'all comments, and y'all having a great conversation on the YouTube chat board. LaRon said, don't tell people how to raise their kids. That's how you get canceled, LOL. And I think that it is okay to tell people how to raise their kids so their kids ain't doing right, but don't just tell people. Ask, how can I help? How can I support? Obviously, I ain't going to be there feeding your kid every single day, but what is it that I can do? What can I help expose them to? How can I help you? How can I help the village? I think that's a real question that we definitely need to talk about. Get It Done said, this is the rap generation. That's what we have, senseless violence. And I don't know about this being a rap generation where, when you think about it, the rap generation for me was in the 90s, and you had a lot of kids who were raised in the 90s, who were born in the 70s and raised in the 80s, and kids that were born in the 80s and raised in the 90s that heard about gangster rap, that heard about things going on, where you had the East Coast, West Coast beef. So these kids are just a reflection of, some of these kids are the children or even some grandchildren, mostly I would say children, of those who were raised in the 80s and the 90s, that we see committing some of these heinous crimes in our community. Sincere Ronnie Ray Real said, we have drugs, substances, abuse, and alcohol, internet porn, kids programming, so on, but it's just rap that we jump on. Okay, great. And I think the thing is this, is when I see that is, I agree. There are a lot of things in our community that cause issues, right? There's a lot of bad things that cause issues. But when I think about hip hop, and how impressionable our people are. This is what I'm not going to run from no more. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's the parents' fault, all the parents' fault, when these kids are being programmed by the music and they can't differentiate the difference between what's real and what's not. I never forget, I used to work at O.W. Holmes Elementary School in a summer program, and I remember one of the kids, we said, what you want to be when you grow up? He said, I want to be a thug, nigga. That's what he said. 9 years old. That's what he said he wanted to be. Now, obviously, the boy ain't grow up to be a thug. The boy grew up to be a great contributing person to society. But he said what was popularized in our community by some things that we see on TV and the music that we hear. So we got to have a real conversation about that. Because I bet y'all, if hip-hop music was only, as Ben Jammin said this morning on Jam with Juice, was only Christian rap, I bet you we wouldn't be seeing all this senseless violence. Because it wouldn't be the thing that was persuading them or things they were being told that are cool to do. Being tough, being hard, having guns is cool to some people. Not Really a City Girl said, hip-hop and rap has a lot to do with our current culture. I 100% agree, the good and the bad, unfortunately. And I feel like hip-hop has done so much positive for not only our communities, for our world as well. But again, there has been some negative things that have come from it as well, and I feel like we are sometimes seeing the negative side of what hip-hop is. But again, 833-212-1017, that's the Truth Talk to text line, and Chris on the Truth Talking text line said, Kyle, I think the music is the product of what we see on the streets and what is happening in the black community. We are a product of our environment, and the music is just another piece of that puzzle. I 100% agree. But this is where I have certain issues. When I hear music from Lil Durk, or he might just go by Dirk now, Durkio. I'm a fan of his music, some of it. But some of the music is very bad. He had a song that basically talked about Quando Rondo. It had him screaming. Quando Rondo cousin got shot. And I don't know who it was by, but it might have been by Dirk people in response to King Von being killed. And there was a song that Lil Durk made that used the scream of Quando Rondo when his cousin got shot inside the song, right? He was basically mocking another rap artist losing his family member and putting the scream in a song. I'm telling y'all this right now. That is evil. That is desensitizing murder. death. And you have kids, teens, and adults all listening to this. If y'all think that isn't desensitizing people to the fact that killing somebody is terrible, but now you put it in a song, that's a problem, y'all. That is a problem. Again, here at 833-212-1017 on the Truth Talking text line, Stacy said, you're right, Kyle. No hood joints, period. When you get to the location of a place, you know right away if it's possible bull or not. Don't make a bad choice. And I hate to feel that way. Because I'm going to be very honest. Be very honest. Is that I don't like having a mentality, I don't want to go to this place because it makes me feel uncomfortable or some danger could happen, right? But we got to be real about that. What's more important than my ego of saying, well, hell, I can go anywhere in Milwaukee. Like, oh, I ain't going anywhere in Milwaukee. But I can go to downtown Milwaukee and go to this club and not be worried about something happening. No, I can't predict the future. I can't guarantee that something bad won't happen. Nobody can predict when a young lady got shot at Brownstone. Nobody could predict when OG Tweezy got shot. And nobody can predict that. Again, 833-212-1017. I want to hear from you, Truth Nation, because we got to find some possible solutions. And before we go to break, I see you got a call, but on the other side, after we have Al's going to be joining us, I'm going to talk about some potential solutions that we could potentially have to solve some of these issues. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What up, Al? It was great seeing you on Friday at Beyond the Mic with Sherwin Hughes.
You as well. The one thing we have to realize, the word free will. They don't mind black people killing one another as long you don't go against the people who push the music. Because when you look at other groups, you don't see them doing that. But for some reason, there's a lack of value when they see one another. See, they'll shoot your house down, but they won't do it up to that man who's trying to put his whole fist up your anal cavity. Yeah, just pay attention.
Oh, wow. Jeez, a whole fist. Al, I'll say this as well, because I talked about it earlier. I'm not sure if you heard it. The one thing is that rap music has such a violent piece of it, only a piece of it, not the whole, just a piece of it, where you see in country music, you hear about domestic violence, you hear about alcohol and drug use, which runs rampant in a lot of the places that listen to country music, right? You hear about emo music, it's the music that, they talk about self-harm and different things like that. It messes up communities. But I feel like our hip-hop music, not just here in America, but now global, because of how the influence is, it talks about being tough and using guns. In country music, they use guns to hunt. In hip-hop, they use guns to kill.
Yeah, but it's a self-destruct within the black community. Because, see, John doesn't tell he gonna call Mary Sue a garden tour or how he gonna garden tour her out. He respect her and say he protect his family. But when it comes to people who look like us, they want you to self-destruct, but you still have basic common sense. They just don't want to do it. Because as long as you do it to your own people and you don't do it to the people who sitting in the mansions, they don't care because they laugh all the way to the bank. We laugh all the way to the morgue. There's a difference.
Thank you,
Have
Al.
a great day.
You too, Al. Thank you so much for calling in. 833-212-1017. We're talking about the senseless violence that occurred over this weekend. When we come back, I heard some great suggestions of how we can potentially stop this, because I want to be able to move freely when I go out, and I think there still is a way that the city of Milwaukee has already implemented that they need to re-implement in order for us to have safer streets in the community. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. I'll give you some solutions and wrap up the show on the other side.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Milwaukee, it's time to turn the TV off and turn your speakers up so you can hear what the future leaders of the world have to say. Truth Nation, I'm proud to present the 8 Block, powered by City on the Hill and 1017 The Truth, hosted by me, your boy, Ben Jammin. Every other Saturday at 9 a.m., 8 Milwaukee teams will share stories and laughs that will speak truth to what matters most in their lives.
I'm here to discover different levels about myself.
I'm really here to get my name out there and have a different perspective on life.
So tap in every other Saturday at 9 a.m. Truth Nation, welcome to the 8 Block.
Truth Nation, you already know I got to put you on the latest hookup at Nick Avani's, and this one is big. All month long during July, Nick Avani's is running their buy one, get one for a penny sale. That's right, grab one item and get another one for just 1 cent. We're talking top-tier fashion like suits, shirts, ties, shoes, and more that will have you stepping out looking sharp and turning heads. Some exclusions may apply, but the deal is real and only happening for the month of July. So don't wait and pull up to Nick Avani's on the 2nd floor of Mayfair Mall and level up your wardrobe while this deal lasts.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience. The Pella Experience Center in Brookfield lets you see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of windows and door options from 7 different Pella lines side by side. A friendly expert can go over Pella's endless possibilities for all price ranges, from colors to hardware to custom designs, ensuring you get the best possible look for your home. Pella truly believes that quality windows and doors don't have to be expensive. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the U.S., you get the look you want at a price you can afford. Stop by soon, because if you order by July 31st, you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Certain restrictions apply. Visit the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. It's off Blue Mound Road, kitty corner to Cops, or schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, ho!
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm Kyle Wallace, the host of Truth to Power. And I want to wrap up with this. We've been having a conversation about what happened over the weekend, right? Get a reaction to how we feel about what happened over the weekend, how we got here, why we got here, who to blame for the violence, what can be done to stop the violence. Is it truly out of our control with the violence? Everyone is fed up, but are people ready for real solutions? That's the real question. I said before, the stop snitching culture needs to end. It needs to be done. That needs to be over. If you hear a kid saying that in school, they say, hey, we don't do that here. You hear them say it in your house, say, we don't do that here. We need to start snitching, and we need to snitch off it. It should be rewarded for getting people who make mistakes off of the streets. There should be a reward for that. I'm so serious when I say that, because holding people accountable is good. Ain't nothing wrong with accountability. It's actually a great way for us to grow, because sometimes if you stop somebody from a small mistake, it keeps them from making an even larger mistake. We got to start holding ourselves accountable and holding the people in our community accountable. We have to solve this crime issue, and there is no quick fix, but the quick fix they can do is that I heard somebody call in to Jamming with Juice this morning talking about the fact that they could put barriers up. I remember on Water Street how annoyed I got after 2021, the Bucks won the championship. They started putting barriers up because there was gunshots that rang up, and you couldn't park on Water Street, and you had barriers. And that's what they need to do down Water Street in front of the bars by 618, or I should say Element. Put up barricades, put up a security check, but we need to make it so it is a safer street for those who are going to these restaurants, the patrons going to these bars, metal detectors. And we need to have more strict gun laws. If you get caught with a gun trying to go through a metal detector, arrest them on the spot. If you find a gun in somebody's car, make sure that that gun is properly issued, or make sure it's stored the way it's supposed to be, because I don't think you should be having a gun in the car anyways. Not stored away properly, because that's how people get these guns get on the street, because people are robbing and stealing these guns. But we need to have heavy fines if your gun is found to have committed a crime. We got to do something to have real change in this community. This has been Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today to Truth to Power. The Tory Lowe Show is up next with guest co-host filling in for Tory today. The cousin subs of the day is the legendary Homer Blow and Dame LZ. Y'all enjoy from 1 to 4, but peace out. I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all so much, Truth Nation.
Truth Nation, are you looking for a fun opportunity to showcase your clothing line, restaurant, nonprofit organization, food truck, or small business?